In this lesson, I'd like to talk about how to create several of the drawing view types that you find in SOLIDWORKS. First, let's get some geometry inside these existing views. The easiest way to do this while using the existing predefined views on the sheet already is to open up a solid part. Go ahead and open the linkage part, probably in your recent documents list in the File menu. With that open, go to Window and Tile Vertically, and then drag the name of the part from the Feature Manager onto the drawing sheet. Okay, and with the views on the drawing sheet, we're going to expand that, and as we did before, I'm going to take this front view and turn it into a right view. Answer yes to the prompt. And move the isometric view slightly. Okay, now we need to position the views around the drawing sheet in such a way that we're going to have enough space for everything. It won't matter too much if you get this right the first time, because we can always come back and move the drawing views again later on. Let's also go ahead and delete this second sheet. We can right-click on that and delete. Now the View Layout tab doesn't have all of the drawing view types on it. So I'm not going to go through these icons on the View Layout tab. You will find all of the drawing view types under the Insert Drawing View menu. The Model Drawing View is used to create new drawing views from a selected model, and we've demonstrated that in a previous lesson. Projected will also take an existing view and project it in a new direction. The auxiliary view is one that will allow you to take a view with a sketch line, and let's take a moment to put our sketch toolbar up on the right-hand side again so we have easy access to it. And let's draw an angled line inside this view. From this angled line, we can create the auxiliary view. This projects a view of the model perpendicular from the sketched line. Most of the time, auxiliary views are created from an angled face or edge on a part, generally so that you can look down the axis of a drilled hole or see that face square on for dimensioning purposes. In this case, I've just drawn a sketch line to aid in projecting the auxiliary view. We can move these views around so that the views don't run into one another. You can also get rid of the view arrow if you think that that's unnecessary. Other types of views will be the section view, and the section view works differently than it has in the past in 2013. You don't have to draw a line anymore, although you can draw them that way. SOLIDWORKS will help you draw the section. If the automatic orientation of the section that comes up attached to the cursor is incorrect, you can press the Tab key and SOLIDWORKS will reorient it 90 degrees or in another angled orientation. Notice as I tab through these that SOLIDWORKS is giving me several options, including an aligned section. I'm now back to my original. So let's snap this to the center of the big circular boss and select from the pop-up what my intention is. If I don't need any sort of offset, then I can just press the green check and place the resulting section view. If I do not want to have it aligned in the same way that SOLIDWORKS is trying to align it for me horizontally, I can press the Control key and place the view somewhere else. Let's get rid of this left-hand view because it's causing some difficulty. If I wanted to use one of the stepped sections, I would go back and invoke the section view, press Tab to get a horizontal orientation, snap the line to a midpoint, click the left mouse button, and then select a single offset where I can place a point for the offset to be created and then snap the offset to a model point and press OK. Again, if I don't like the direction that the section view is going, I can click the flip direction option or auto flip will automatically flip the section depending on the placement with respect to the section line. Let's take a look at another drawing view type, the detail view. Again, this is going to work with a circle, and then SOLIDWORKS will, by default, give you a 1:1 scale. The original drawing is 1:2, and I can place that over here. To move other drawing views, just select an entity inside the drawing view. Anything else is going to be interpreted as an attempt to drag a selection box. If you want to rename the view, notice that there's a letter for the detail view that's difficult to see, so let's rotate it around. We can double click it here and just rename it as A, since this is the first detail view. SOLIDWORKS is going to complain about that since the A label is already used in this auxiliary view. We could rename it View E, and as soon as this is done, SOLIDWORKS also renames the detail view itself. We could also rename it here, call it View F, and SOLIDWORKS automatically renames the label on the detail circle. Other types of views that SOLIDWORKS can create, relative to model view. This is generally intended for a more complex view type, but if we select the relative view using an angled face on, say, one of the letters, this is not a great example. The first face will help determine the front view, and the second face will help determine the right view. So with the blue face being the front and this pink face being the right, we'll now click on the green check, and the relative to model view is shown like this. This is similar to the auxiliary view, except that it has a more 3D nature to it. Additional view types under Insert Drawing View will be your standard 3 view, and this is again for creating an initial drawing. This is what you automatically get when you drag and drop a part onto a drawing. A broken out section view allows you to draw a broken out section line, often represented by a squiggly spline, and then specify the depth either with a selection from a different view or with a number. And let's get a preview of this. The depth I'll set as 0.15. And in this view type, you can choose to increase the hatch to make it a little more visible. But this will cut up to the depth that you have specified. One difference about the broken out section view, which is available from the toolbar here, is that it modifies an existing view rather than creating a new view. Also, when your views are set up like I have them here, there's something you need to be aware of. If you're going to sketch something, make sure that the border of the correct view is highlighted. For example, if I'm going to sketch this spline for this broken out section view, here the correct view is highlighted. But if I move my cursor up here, notice that a different view has highlighted, the orange view versus the blue view. Okay, so if you sketch here with the orange view highlighted, the sketch will be associated with the orange view and not with the blue view. So sketching here will not affect the broken out section that you want to create. Just be aware of where you're sketching. The next type of view is the break view or broken view, and you can place a break anywhere on a view. Breaks are placed in pairs generally, and you can place multiple pairs if you like. Now, just to show that the overall distance is still the same, let's get rid of that second break that I added. In fact, let's just make one big break so it actually shortens the view to some extent. Now let's put in some dimensions. In this view, I'm going to dimension from center to center. So let's view the temporary axes and dimension from center to center. Here we get an 8.5 dimension. Okay, let's turn off the temporary axes on this view since we don't need it. Let's measure now from the center here to the center here. And this again gives you the 8.5 inch dimension, even though the view is broken. And SOLIDWORKS will represent the break with a little break symbol on the 8.5 dimension. So broken views will measure correctly. A cropped view is another view that just edits an existing view. It doesn't create a new view. For example, if I want to crop this view, I'll just draw a circle around the area that I want to keep and click on the crop. Looking at the list of views again, the next type of view is an alternate position. This is available for assemblies, and we'll talk about this later. There is an empty view that you can create, which is frequently used for electrical diagrams or schematics or different types of information that are copied into the drawing from outside. And the predefined view is a type that we have talked about earlier. It's an empty view that you can put model geometry in, but it's used in blank template files. In the next lesson, we'll come back and learn about placing dimensions and annotations on your drawing.